Good evening, sir. Sir, I have been reading all your articles on data, dharma, and decision.
Thank you
Uh,
very much. Are they useful?
yes, sir, they are very good, sir. Actually, are you compiling them, sir? Because I
Uh,
thought
I,
that.
I, I'm compiling them, and they are all going into different books. So right now, multiple books are open. So when a
Sir,
book comes to shape, I will publish it.
okay. Nice, sir. Very excellent thoughts, sir. Even the this on Gradio, the apps, I mean the agents that you have developed recently regarding this career guidance, Chaya Drishti.
Yeah, that is a very pet project of mine. In fact, why it is a pet project is because when I came up with this idea, I sent this idea to a publisher called Vedant. Now, this Vedant, they are a company. They are in Gujarat. Now, these fellows they organized a seminar called what is it? Viksit Bharat 2047 seminar. Okay, and that seminar was attended by the Chief Minister of Gujarat and etc. And this paper was presented there. So, and they gave me a kind of a award also for that. So, and then this paper was presented to the Home Minister of India, and he also sent me a letter. So, after that, now the basic idea is that this career guidance, I made it free tool right now simply because the people who are from economically backward sections, they should have access to such tools, um, so that they are at par with the people who are more affluent or from metropolitan places where they have more access to things like that. I do not know how successful I'll be, but I hope something will happen from this.
Yes, sir. Sir, but for greater, more and more people to use it, more and more people to at least know it, know about that there is an app like this. That means for the greater publicity actually, so that it reaches to the common people. I think we need to do something, sir.
Well, that is my problem. My problem is I have developed a lot of things actually. Um, uh, I think they are good because people like it and all things like that. And people who have commented on that, they're very knowledgeable people. But my problem is that I do not spend anything on marketing. I have very little bit means to spend on marketing. That is number one. And even if I have some means, I do not utilize that money for marketing. Instead, I put that money into my further research. So I know that is a problem. But if some investor comes about and picks it up, I'm more than happy to give it away. I do not want any share of that. And if they can take it to the market and make it, what do you call, make it useful and make publicize it, I'm more than happy to give it away. I not that I want to monetize it myself and things like that. That's the whole idea. I gave it for free.
Okay, sir. I'll think about it, sir, once.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start. Okay, so the we this is the third session we are having on this topic, which is to find semantically similar clinical trials. The goal today is that we will have the application, we will have the entire concept of the application ready today, and we will have the engine of the application working today. And so next week, what we will do is that we will spend time in order to make a what do you call web application out of it, and we will publish the application. So this week we will get the back end ready, and the next week we will make the front end, and we will walk through the steps as to how to create an app and how to publish the app so that it's accessible to everybody. Okay, so in that context, I will just share my screen and start. Um, so in that context, let me just recall for you guys what we did so far. In the first week, what we did was that we took the data set and we cleaned the data set. We applied various NLP techniques to clean the data set. Now there has been an offshoot out of that. That is that while cleaning the data set, I found that it is useful that we have a common function which can do the entire cleaning. So in that process, what I did was I created a library which I published on Python. So this library is publicly available. So if you want to download this library, all you have to do is that you have to go here, go to Python, and then say pip install. You can upgrade. The library is called text cleaner hyphen partner. The thing was text cleaner is a library which is already taken. So I could not, I had to use a different name. So if you do this, so what is it? Current working directory. Okay, let me try a different environment. So if I do this, you see the library is installed here. And then I can use this library. So how do I do that? ls test.py is there. No, it is not here. This is here. So what is this directory? This is this and cp. This slash. So I have this now. So I can show you a demonstration of this library. I hope it is the right file. .py. Yeah, it is the test case. It is a test case. No, this is not like what I want. Text cleaner, ready application, terminal. Coinbase. Why Coinbase? Okay, let me show you a GUI tool which I made which uses this library. So anyway, this is a center where I am keeping all my apps. So I have number of apps, so I'm one by one I'm adding them. So for this library also I've created an app here, and I can open this app from this place. And you see here it has two options where you can check what the tool does automatically, and you can try your own. So if this is the input, it is going to change it to this based on the settings what you have selected. These settings are selected randomly, but I can do it full. I can take this and I can use it here, and I can say I apply all the functions. If I apply all the functions, you see it does this. So you can see that if I remove some functions from here, let's say I don't remove emojis, then it will convert, but it is removed emojis. Let's not take this out as well. Why is it removing emojis? Must be because of some expansion. Okay, I removed this option also. One minute. It is removing the emoji. I will check why it is doing that. But you can check the different options from here. For example, you see it says correct spellings. So this is try now was here, and it has changed to try. So it does all these actions. So now all I have to do is that I have to basically call this function pre-process from text cleaner partha, and it will do the cleaning of the document. So the process of cleaning document is I have made it much easier right now. So that is an offshoot. Now anyway, in the second class, what we did was that um, this is the second class. What we did, the second class, we had a little bit uh, what do you call? We took the cleaned data, and after taking the cleaned data, we created a model using TF-IDF. Okay, so we went in details regarding what is TF-IDF, and we created the TF-IDFs for this model, and we made two models. First of all, we took all the text columns and combined them into a single column. We took all the text columns and combined them into single columns, and we made the TF-IDF vectors on this combined text. So once you did that, we calculated what should be our vocabulary size using statistics, and we picked a vocabulary size, and then we calculated what should be the embedding dimensions and what should be the TF-ID of dimensions. So ultimately, we created a vector of 18,737 units, and then we had the vector, and then we reduced the vector. Again, we used statistical methods to reduce the vector, and the vector was reduced to how many? 760 components. So we used SVD for that. After reducing the vector, then we had the we had a function to find similar trials. Where is that? So I'm taking a random trial first. I'm taking a random trial, and then from this random trial, we wrote a function to find similar trials, and this function was returning the similar trials and just showing the cosine similarities. To find similarity, we were using cosine similarity. We went through what is cosine similarity, and we went in detail. So now this was done. Then we said that now to verify that these are correct, what we require is we require the help of a medical expert, because we cannot ascertain what this is all about because we don't understand the medical terms. And one of the things what we discussed in that second week's meeting was that if I could give some help to the medical practitioners in terms of visualization, then it will make their work easy. How to check whether the application is working properly or not. So for that, what I did was that from the similar trials, what I did was I created word clouds. So this is the word cloud of the trial, which is my test case. Right, this is the word cloud of the trial, which is my test case, and this is the word cloud of the trial of all the 5 similar trials which I have found. Then I used ChatGPT and asked him to analyze these 2 word clouds, and I got an analysis of this. And the analysis by ChatGPT says that these are very much similar. Even if you're not a medical practitioner, if you look at the word cloud, you'll find that these are similar words which are coming up in both the word clouds. So this is consistent across the different test cases which I tried, and so you can say that our model is working pretty well. So this model is working pretty well, and uh, so this TF-IDF method definitely works very well. Okay, now let's come to today's agenda. We have wait, let me annotate. So we have already with us the TF-IDF vectors, and TF-IDF, if you remember, it gives finds the most prominent words inside a document, and that can help in identifying what are the similarities between across documents. But this is not a very strong method. Okay, so we have to have a much more stronger method which understands relationship between words. So fortunately, we have a technology which is developed by Google first, and this technology is called word embedding. So this is not new. Actually, Google developed this technology way back in 2016, but Google did not understand the potential of this technology. So they did not work on marketing this, and instead what happened was that on top of this technology, Google could have made uh, uh, Gen AI app very easily, which eventually they have done in Gemini. It is built on top of a technology which this was part of a technology called BERT. So BERT was developed in 2016, but Google never took advantage of this. Instead, Google worked on its search engine to make it more strong. And in the meanwhile, in 2018, this OpenAI came about and they launched GPT. And GPT has caught the market immediately, and GPT has brought AI into the domains of all everybody in the world. And now Google is playing catch up to GPT by rebranding BERT as Gemini. Okay, so this is the story. So now, anyway, this story is not important for us. What is important is this word embedding technology. So what exactly is word embedding technology? What we do is in word embedding technology is that we know that inside a text, when I have a text like this, so I have this word clinical. So clinical, I have this word. So if I give this word to the computer, he does not understand anything. Instead, what I have to do is that I have to convert this into a vector. Which we did in TF-IDF's case also. I have to convert this into a vector. But this vector in word embedding, what we do is that we put all the words on which we have to vectorize, and we have to vectorize, we put all the words. So let's give it a like clinical, trial, data. I will put all these words. Then I will also make another side where I will say what are the possible words which follow these words or which precede these words. There will be different vectorizations. So let's say I'm doing a vectorization for which words will follow these words. So let's say I get here word number 21, word number 31, and word number 45, and I can have many more words like this. Then what I will do is that I make a list of all these things and say that this word will be followed by this particular word. And then in between, what I do is I plant a neural network. I design a neural network, whatever the design can be. And then I feed these words into this neural network and create a complete neural network like this. And then it will. So you can imagine what I'm trying to make. So I create this and then I train this neural network so that I get the weights for every word. I have to get the weights for every word by training this neural network back and forth, back and forth. I do that. So when I get the weights ultimately become the vector, become the components of the vector which I am trying to create for every individual word. Now these, I can create multiple vectors for a single word. One is which follows, one is which precedes, and things like that. So this is a very complex process, and this takes a lot of computation. Anyway, I've tried to explain to you word embedding in a very non-technical manner, because our interest is not really getting too much into technology of this. But if you find interest, I could take one full session on trying to explain how word embeddings are really programmed, or what is the total theory behind word embeddings. Anyway, the idea is that at the end of the story, we will have the word embeddings of all the thing. Actually, we are going one step ahead. We're not only doing word embedding, we are doing word embedding, and we are also doing something called a sentence embedding. So just like I am doing it for a single word, I will do the same exercise for sentences also. So I will have like which sentences follow which sentences precede which sentences, and I make these vectors for the sentences. So when I have these vectors, what will happen is that I can compare two words or two sentences and find out what is the similarity between them. And by doing that, when I have a particular clinical trial, I run it across the entire text of the clinical trial, find out which clinical trials have the maximum amount of sentence similarity, maximum amount of word similarity, and that will help me find the most appropriate similar trials. So, do you get the idea? Do you have any questions so far?
No questions.
No.
Okay, so we are clear so far. Okay, so now let's run through how we are building this. 1 minute. I will just do one thing. Yeah, I will build this. Okay, so let's start. I will share this notebook with you. I have completed this, but this notebook I still have to work on it. I will share it in the next class. Also, I have a third notebook which I will share in the next class, which is not, I could not complete this because of lack of time. But this is complete and you can read this. You should get some idea. So now I come here. Now my starting point is the processed the processed file where I did the pre-processing of the text. So I have this data, and these were the columns which I had. I had the identifier, and I had study title, brief, summary, conditions, interventions, and primary outcome measures. Now what I do is that I take this data and oh, should I will not run it because then it will take a lot of time. I will just go run through this. Then I what I do is that I combine all these data into a single column called combined text, and I will program on this combined text. Okay, so the combined text, if you look at it, it will look something like this. So this combines all the fields into a single column. After I combine it, then what I do is that I do this I find the sentence embeddings. Now for sentence embedding, I use a transformer. Okay. And this transformer is from Hugging Face. So I use this transformer and I create the sentence embeddings on this combined text which I have got. I'm using a model called All Mini LM L6V2. So this model I have what do you call license for that. And if you are going to do this for yourself, then you need to find a proper model which will license to you. Otherwise, you will have a lot of problems in terms of replicating your. Even if the program runs once, later it may not run and all this kind of stuff. Okay, so now I using the sentence transformer. This is the variable of this model. I do the encoding. After I do the encoding, what I will get is the embeddings of this sentence of this document. So the entire document, I will get the embeddings. Once I have the embeddings, I save it. Now it takes a lot of time. This process will take nearly 2 hours. Even when I'm using GPU, I can show you that. See, I'm using GPU, but it will take. Uh, no, it is using CPU. Sorry. If I changed to GPU, it would have been faster. But nevertheless, using the CPU, it takes around about 2 hours to generate all the embeddings. Now, once I have the embeddings, I can apply it and I can find similar trials. Again, for finding similar trials, we will use cosine similarities. Why we are using cosine similarities is because we have the vectors, and the best way to find similarity between two vectors is to find the cosine similarity. So I do that. Once I do that, it gives me output in terms of this was the original trial, and these are the similar trials what it has found. Again, to verify this, I require I ran it for 5 test cases. So it has given similar trials for all the 5 test cases. Now to verify this, what I require is again a word cloud. So I generated a word cloud for all the similar trials, and I got this impression. And the document which I will give you, where is that? Yeah, the document. I have given you an understanding of what is word embedding, which I try to explain in very brief to you guys. And I also have given the analysis which is produced by ChatGPT of these word clouds. So if you read this analysis, you notice that there is a very vast amount of similarity between the test case and the similar cases which it has found. It has given proof of how it has established this fact, and this is consistent for all the 3 test cases which I analyzed. And the test cases were picked at random. It was not picked at what do you call in a what do you call it was picked at random. I did not plan it. That I will do for this, I will do for this, and things like that. Okay. So this again proves that this model is working pretty well, and we could utilize this model. So that is the way we get this thing done done using embeddings. So embeddings is a very strong technology. So let me do one thing. Let me share this document straight away so that you guys don't miss out or we don't forget. So let me put this document to you guys straight away. Class 3. Yeah, this is the one. This file, your computer. Okay, so now you guys have the document. Okay, so in this document, I have given you what are the justifications that the model is working well and all this kind of stuff. So you can read that. Okay, so any questions so far, or are you all clear what we are doing?
It's clear to me.
It's clear. Okay. Now what I have done is that you see that I created the word embeddings and I have it stored in a variable. Okay, what facility I have is that I can save this variable into a file, which I'm doing also. This embeddings variable, I'm saving it into a file, and I next time when I start my process, I don't have to generate the embeddings once again, which will take a lot of time. Instead, I can straight away use the embeddings, which I have stored in a file. But we have a problem. The problem is that when the embedding is in a file, it is static, is it not?
Yes, sir.
It is static. But the thing is that I would like a system where I can add embeddings based on new data which I will get from additional number of clinical trials and things like that. Okay, as and when new data comes, I would like that my embeddings also get updated. So how can I do that? Any one of you have an idea or would like to propose what is the mechanism for that? Think in a normal computing terms, in terms of when you require something which will get updated regularly. What do you do? How do you
we replicate or refresh.
Okay, replicate and refresh. That is, that means to say I have to again build the model and then I have to replace the file with a new file. That is what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Do I have
But that will increase the time taken to.
Yeah, that anyway, it is a mechanism. Definitely, we cannot dismiss it. But think of, okay, I will give you a hint. Now we build systems for OLTP, right? And then in the OLTP, when we build systems, we also have data there, and based on which we do analysis. But that data keeps on getting incremented with new transactions and things like that. So where do we store such data?
So from a traditional database perspective, we build indexes.
Yeah, we build indexes and we store the data in database and we build indexes. Correct. So now we should think in those lines for our case also. So what we have is that what we will do is that the embeddings what we have created, we will store them in a database. But we will not store them in a relational database. Instead, we will store them in a vector database. So we have a new kind of database now, which is called a vector database. So in this vector database, I can store the vectors. So if I have the database in a vector database, I can plant it on the cloud or wherever. Even right now, I have done it locally. I can increment this database with new data, and then my model will automatically start getting new information on which it can do analysis. Sounds good?
Yes, sir.
So now what I will do is that I will show you implementation of how vector DB is implemented. So the vector DB what I'm using is from Facebook. It is free and it is available locally in my machine right now. There are other databases which are not available locally. Well, not that most of them are not free also. And if you have to use them, then you have to use them on the cloud and you have to create an account and things like that. All these problems are there. So I will use a vector DB which is local. That is from Facebook. Okay, so now again what I do is I run through this process. I load my file. My file is this is my cleaned data, and after cleaning this data, I just create the combined text once again. I could have saved this command text and I could have just imported also. That's also possible, but I may do that also. Now what I do is that I create the embeddings. Okay, right now again, so I ran this. I will show you how the embeddings are getting created. I will delete these files. Okay, let me remove this files. So now I will create these embeddings. So this is a transformer. It is creating the embeddings. This will not take much time because I'm using a subset of the data. So I will show you that. I made a subset of this data. Yeah, see, only 1,000 records I have taken. So now the embeddings are made and it is stored in this file. So next time I don't have to create it. So after that, what I do is that I take the embeddings and I create my vector DB. So to create the vector DB, I use this library called Face. This is the vector DB from Facebook, and I create the vectors and store it into a database, vector DB. So after I do that, I save the vector DB. So the next time I can just um, uh, pick up the vector DB and I can start working on it. And what I can do is that I can keep uploading new data into this vector DB offline. And after if I right now I'm doing it locally, but if I put it on a cloud somewhere, then automatically the program will get the new and refreshed data from the vector DB as and when it is updated. Okay, so now I can create the vector DB. So it created the vector DB, and there are 384 embeddings right now. This is a very small set, but actually this will be quite large. We will see if we can. So once this is also done, then I can use the vector DB and I can query from the vector DB. Now right now I'm doing a very simple query. I'm just saying that giving the combined text, and I'm saying find similar trials for that. But actually on this vector DB, what I can do is I can also write select statements. I can write select statements like select all the clinical trials which are for brain tumor. So I can do things like that. So that is the advantage. So anyway, I create this function, and after creating this function, I search for similar trials, and you see that it is quite fast also, much faster than the traditional method which we are doing so far. So it has found the clinical trials which are similar. So you see that this has got a 0.79 similarity score and all this kind of stuff. So it has found this similar trials. Then once I have the similar trials, I can again create the word clouds. And once the word clouds are ready, I can give it to the experts, and they can verify whether the word cloud suggests that the trials are actually similar or not. Okay. Any questions? Any suggestions? You're all very silent. You have no questions.
No questions, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now what I will do is that I will show you how exactly if I remove the constraint of 1000 records, how much you can see the estimate of time what it will take to build this. So I remove these files, and I run it once again. So you can see that it is a Hugging Face model, this sentence token, sentence transformer, and it is taking it from Hugging Face, and this will take 1 hour 21 minutes right now. So this is the amount of time this will take, and our database data size is 136,000 records. So this is a very heavy process. So once we do it, we can store. Right now we have a strategy to store in the vector DB, so there's no problem. And when I get new trials, I can store the new trials. I can process the new trials and store them in the vector DB by adding it to the vector DB. So that is the thing. Okay, so that is all actually I have for you guys today. So if you have any discussions, we could do that, or we will have to close the session. I shared one document with you, and I will share the other documents in the next class. So do you have anything to discuss about the subject?
I do not have nothing for myself.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Do you guys think? Do you guys find interest in particular project what we are building?
Yes, sir. From my perspective, I'm quite new to this, but it gives me like insights and ideas into like what this can do actually. So
this project can save the drug companies millions and millions of dollars. Okay.
right. So I work for a company that has products in the life sciences field with drug safety and regulatory compliance and all. So it is giving me some ideas actually. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, guys. So since you have nothing to discuss, we finished little
Yes.
early today, but next week we might take little extra time because I will not touch the code regarding next week. I will build the code along with you in the class to create the app, and then we will deploy the app and make it running. So we will do that in the class. So next week the class may be a little bit extended. So and hopefully we will have a good application running on the web at the end of the class. Okay.
So just one more question. This data is available? Is it?
Yeah, I have given the data.
Okay. No.
Did you get the did you get the file from the first lecture?
No, sir. I didn't attend the first lecture.
Let me share it once again on the chat. Class.
Yeah, maybe. And also for the second lecture, it will be.
Second lecture, I hunted out. Second lecture, I did not have the thing ready. I will share that. First lecture, let me give you the handouts. So first in this PDF, you will find that there is the Google Drive link to the data files. Okay. So if and the program also is given as to how to utilize how to download the files from the Google Drive to start programming on Python, or you can save the files to your local disk. They are CSV files, very large, very big files. So now I have given you this, so you can go through and you will find. I will show you it is given here. So here you see that. So these are the Google Drive links where the files are stored. And I've given you the complete program as to how to download the files and start utilizing them. So you can do it yourself.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay then. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining. And
Thank you.
next week, hopefully, we will have our app ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you, sir.
Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you, sir.
Yeah, good night.